Myranda Stevens. I'm with Compass Real Estate, and I work with all buyers, sellers, renters, anyone interested in real estate.
Which area?
I am licensed in DC and Maryland, and soon to be Virginia. So,
Wonderful.
yeah. But
Wonderful.
with our network at Compass, though, we can work with clients all over the country, to be honest.
That's perfect.
Mhm.
Take me back to the very beginning of this journey
Mm.
and walk me through from that point to here.
The very beginning of real estate?
Yeah, your real estate journey.
Okay. Well, I was actually doing communications and marketing for a contractor in the Rockville area. But, and that's usually a lot of the transition what former TV people do. They go into communications or public relations. But it kind of opened my eyes to real estate, even though it was commercial. And it just made me think this is really cool and just was intrigued by real estate even more, even though I had been watching HGTV forever. But it just showed more of the side of how things come together. They really focused on condos and other buildings, still a little bit of the residential side. But I just really always wanted to kind of do my own thing. And real estate gave me that opportunity. So I got my license, and that was it.
Here you are.
Here I am.
So, you transitioned from a 12-year career as a
Hmm.
reporter to
Right,
becoming a realtor.
right.
What parallels do you see between telling people stories in journalism and guiding them through one of the biggest chapters of their lives?
Oh, definitely. There are a lot of similarities actually between the two industries. And like you said, it's telling stories. Every transaction is a story. It's a different story, different people, different problems, different things that happen throughout. So it's a learning process. And I love that. Like, I don't want a boring job. I like having something different all the time. And there's always a new challenge with every transaction, and I love a challenge and I love helping people. So it's a great marriage in terms of, my personality and putting it all into place in real estate.
Talk to me a little bit about your values. How do your values guide your work with clients? How do you make sure they feel seen, heard, and cared for?
Yeah. I think that's a great question. I am very much about treat people how I would want to be treated. I've had situations where where I'm speaking up for the client and they don't even know it, and then they find out later. And I'm like, well, that's what I would do for myself. So it's all about integrity and just treating people like you would want to be treated.
Yeah, it's important.
Mhm.
Buying or selling a home can be one of the most emotional decisions and biggest decisions people make. How do you help clients navigate the journey with confidence?
Well, I think education is key, and that kind of speaks to my background. It's all about informing people, educating people. And I think the more educated you are as a client, the better the transaction will be. And you'll have confidence and hopefully trust in me. So I think that's just where it comes down to just transparency, education, and just holding the client's hand throughout the process.
So you pour your heart into helping your clients. How does that mindset influence the culture of the people you collaborate with? Stagers, lenders, contractors, and other partners.
Well, I really do try to find partners, vendors who are in line with what my business is about. If I have a bad experience, I'm always open to trying new people, but I have had a good experience with certain people who I know will treat my clients just as well, if not better than I will. And that's important to me. So if I have a relationship and it doesn't go well, then I won't use that person again. But it's all about building trust and relationships.
So, how do your specialized designations help you better serve clients from all walks of life?
I'm glad you asked about that because those designations mean a lot to me. I don't just go for every designation that's out there because there are a lot. I go for the ones that really mean something to me, especially like, for example, the seniors. I'm a seniors real estate specialist. I have a special place in my heart for seniors because my grandmother lived to be 93, which she outlived my mom, who passed away at 49. So my grandmother really stepped in as my mom. And so it was very important, with her care as she got older, just making sure people took care of her. And I've just always had that love for seniors because they can be the most vulnerable, just like children. And so it's important to me that, a designation like that, or the others that I have, it actually means something. And so it just helps me do my job even better.
That's beautiful. What's your philosophy on teamwork, both with clients and within the Compass network?
Oh, well, Compass, and I'm probably messing it up, but it's collaborate without ego, is their saying. And I love that about Compass because I actually do see that in play. I've had probably more support with Compass than any other brokerage I've been with, and I've been in this business almost 10 years. So I love that. But just teamwork, I actually approach my clients, that's my approach when I meet clients. I say, we're a team. you know, I'm not leading this. I mean, I'm leading this, but at the end of the day, you're the boss, but we're together, we're a team. So we're going to hopefully make decisions together, or at least I can help guide you to make the decisions that are best for you.
So, as a real estate negotiation expert, what's one negotiation strategy you use that clients might not even realize is happening behind the scenes?
Ooh, well, I think there are a lot. Sometimes it's about, and this is something that I had learned when I was going after that certification. Sometimes it's not about replying immediately, giving it some time. It's amazing how time can change things in terms of the transaction and the negotiations. So it's little things you do, you pick up like that can help. So they wouldn't know necessarily that I didn't get back to the other side immediately, maybe sometimes give it a little bit of time. So just little things like that.
And that all comes from experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, experience and yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What do you love most about helping people write the next chapter of their lives through home ownership?
Well, I love especially just seeing people accomplish something that's such a huge, deal. I mean, it's a big deal to buy a home, especially as a first time home buyer. A lot of people are afraid, and fear can stop people from doing things. So I think sorry, what was the question?
No,
Yeah,
it's okay.
I was going
Yeah, yeah.
somewhere with it.
How do you what do you love most about helping people write the next chapter of their lives through home ownership?
Okay, yeah. I think it's seeing how they started out and how they ended. A lot of times things evolve. In most cases, people go from saying one thing, they may have all these big ideas and thoughts that are like, that's not realistic. But then they come quickly to realize, okay, and they, hopefully are taking my advice, and seeing the end product is great, to be able to purchase a home, especially as a first time home buyer. It's a big deal, and I love to see that.
That's beautiful. Congratulations on your GCAAR
Oh,
2025
thank
recognition
you.
award.
Thank you.
What specifically does this recognition mean to you personally and professionally?
Well, this is actually my first award ever. Like,
Amazing.
it's so funny, and I posted about that this was not even in television I received an award, but I feel like I was always that person who's just kind of quiet, and I don't necessarily jump at awards opportunities, and I honestly don't remember. I don't know how I got this award. I guess they just looked at what I've done, but it was a privilege and honor to do that, to receive that, because like I said, I'd never gotten that type of recognition in the past, but proud. It's a nice thing to be recognized, and it just pushes me to continue doing what I'm doing.
Yes. Recognition is always good.
It's nice.
How do you celebrate wins with your clients when they reach their goals?
Oh, well, at the closing table, I try to make it a party. I even say, come with your photo ready looks, you know. But everybody knows with my buyers, I treat them with cupcakes at closing. I actually make that a thing. I started that early on in like 2018, and now it's like my little thing where I get excited about it. But I try to make every cupcake different. Like some things you'll see over and over, but there are things about the experience maybe that I'll highlight in the cupcake, or something cute that I learned or funny about the client, just to personalize it. But of course, it's not just cupcakes. I always give my clients gifts as well. But I love that part because the reaction is always great, especially some of the more animated clients. They're like, ah, so that's fun.
That is so
Hmm.
fun. I love that.
Thank
You've
you.
described yourself as a proud mom. How has motherhood shaped your perspective as a realtor and business owner?
Um, it's funny because I was actually taking classes for real estate when my son was only like 6 months old. So, just, he's my little assistant sometimes. He's sometimes come along with me if I'm showing houses, not often, but it's just, I think this, because especially being a full-time realtor and being a mom, this is my livelihood. So I take it seriously and I want to make sure that, of course, I'm doing a great job because obviously, if my clients are happy, they're going to tell other people about me and continue this. But this is my only job. So I have to do my best and be good at it because that's what helps me take care of my family.
You're also a member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
Yes, proud.
How does that sisterhood and community influence your approach to leadership and service?
Oh, well, it's funny because I wanted to be a Delta because of my sister initially, but our organization is known for having some big name, big leaders, and it was those people early on, even when I was in the television business, I looked at them as like, wow, they're part of this sorority. I definitely want to be a part of that. But I think it's just ingrained. I think the organization attracts leaders, and so, our thing is about helping the community. So that's big for me. I don't volunteer as much as I would like to, but it's just important in giving back. And obviously, real estate is, my job, but I also look at it as I'm helping people, especially people who look like me and don't understand the importance of like home ownership and building generational wealth. So it goes hand in hand, I think.
Yeah, that's wonderful. My last question for you.
Sure.
When clients think of working with you, what's the one thing you hope they'll always remember about the experience besides the cupcakes?
Besides the cupcakes, yes. That I was communicating with them the entire time. I had great communication. I get that a lot, and that's important to me. I never want someone to think, oh, Miranda didn't tell me that, or I didn't know about that, or my realtor didn't. So it's very important. And I hope that a lot of people, and I think they do, leave knowing that I was always transparent, communicated, and sometimes too honest. But that's just, my personality, who I am. So I'm going to always do that in my business.
That's wonderful. Communication is very important to me.
Very.
Also, I love to hear that.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how little communication
I'm
goes
not
on sometimes.
surprised. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised because
I'm
I've
like,
experienced it. Yeah.
and especially with people who may work with me after working with another realtor, they said, no, they didn't tell me any of this.
Yeah.
I didn't. This is my first time. I'm so glad you sat down and explained it. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
you should be doing that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, is there anything else that you want to share or add to the conversation that I have not touched on?
well, I guess it's my shameless plug if it's out there. Just with my home buyer workshops, I started these in 2018 and now call them Homeowner Sips. And the next one is September 11th. Um, Next Thursday, actually, but it's a home buying workshop with a twist. So we're actually going to be at a new location at Boy Crew Wines in Savage, Maryland. But we're going to sip wine, have some fun, but most importantly, educate people about the home buying process, especially in this economy. So that's something
And
else.
you look like somebody fun to go hang out with.
I hope so. And the funny part is, I'll confess, I don't even drink wine. I rarely drink anything, but I know people enjoy it, and I can find something that I like. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having
Appreciate
me.
learning
This
from
was
you.
fun.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.